Hello, future engineers and scientists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of chemistry. Today, we are diving into trends in physical properties within the chapter Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Properties. We'll explore how elements systematically change their behaviors across the periodic table, from easy concepts to competitive insights. Get ready to uncover the fascinating patterns that govern the elements around us. Let's kick things off with the basics. What are the fundamental ways elements change as we move across or down the periodic table? First up, atomic radius. This is simply the size of an atom. Imagine a tiny sphere, and its radius is the distance from its center to its edge. As you move from left to right across a period, atomic radius generally decreases. Why? Because the nucleus gets stronger, pulling the electrons closer. But as you move down a group, new electron shells are added, making the atoms bigger. For example, lithium is smaller than sodium, which is smaller than potassium. Next, ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is the energy needed to remove an electron. It generally increases across a period because electrons are held tighter, but decreases down a group as atoms get larger. Electron gain enthalpy is the energy change when an electron is added. It usually becomes more negative, more energy released across a period as atoms want to gain electrons, but less negative down a group. These trends help us understand how reactive elements are. Time to test your understanding with a few easy questions. Pause the video, read them carefully, and try to answer them. Which element has the largest atomic radius among Li, Na, K, Rb? Why does ionization enthalpy increase across a period? And why is the electron gain enthalpy of noble gases positive? Think about the definitions and trends we just discussed. Now, let's go a bit deeper and explore some of the underlying reasons and interesting exceptions to these trends. We'll start with effective nuclear charge and the shielding effect. Not all nuclear charge is felt by outer electrons, inner electrons shield them. Across a period, this effective nuclear charge increases, pulling electrons closer. Down a group, new shells mean more shielding. Understanding these concepts is key to explaining why atomic size changes and why electrons are easier or harder to remove. Let's look at some fascinating exceptions in ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Did you know that boron has a lower I than beryllium, even though boron is further right? Or that nitrogen has a higher I than oxygen? These exceptions often arise from the extra stability of half-filled or fully filled electron subshells. Similarly, fluorine's electron gain enthalpy is less negative than chlorine's, a surprising twist due to fluorine's tiny size causing electron-electron repulsion. Finally, at this level, let's solidify our understanding of electronegativity. This is an atom's ability to attract shared electrons in a bond. It increases across a period, making elements like fluorine super electron-hungry, and decreases down a group. It's a crucial concept for predicting how atoms will bond and react, often measured on the Pauling scale. Alright, it's time for some medium-level practice questions. Take a moment to pause the video and work through these. Explain why nitrogen's ionization enthalpy is higher than oxygen's. How does shielding affect atomic radius down a group? Why is fluorine's electron gain enthalpy less negative than chlorine's? Arrange F, Cl, Br, I by electronegativity, and distinguish between ionization enthalpy and electronegativity. Ready to step up your game? Let's tackle some harder concepts that are crucial for a strong G foundation. Here, we introduce relativistic effects and lanthanoid contraction. For very heavy elements, electrons move so fast that their mass increases, causing s orbitals to contract. This relativistic effect influences properties. Even more importantly, the lanthanoid contraction is a steady decrease in size across the lanthanoids due to poor shielding by 4f electrons. This contraction has significant consequences, making elements like zirconium and hafnium almost identical in size and chemical properties. Next, let's explore the diagonal relationship and amphoteric oxides. The diagonal relationship describes similarities between elements like lithium and magnesium, or beryllium and aluminum, due to similar charge-to-radius ratios. This leads to analogous chemical behavior. Amphoteric oxides, like aluminium oxide, are fascinating because they can react with both acids and bases, showcasing a transition from basic to acidic character across the periodic table. Let's dive deeper into the quantitative factors affecting ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Beyond just size and nuclear charge, factors like the penetration effect, how close an electron gets to the nucleus, and the inherent stability of half-filled or fully filled orbitals play a huge role. For electron gain enthalpy, electron-electron repulsion, especially in small atoms like fluorine, can significantly alter the expected trends. These nuances are key to mastering the topic. Now for the hard-level practice questions. These require deeper thought and an understanding of exceptions and underlying principles. Explain lanthanoid contraction and its effects. Identify the diagonal relationship between B and Al. Why are oxides like Al amphoteric? Compare IE1 of Na, Mg, Al. What factors give fluorine its high electronegativity? Why is sulfur's Eg more negative than oxygen's? And finally, discuss the role of penetration effect in IE. Pause and give them your best shot. Welcome to the hardest level, the competitive edge. Here, we'll explore advanced concepts and their applications, pushing your understanding to the advanced depth. We start with the inert pair effect and its profound implications. This effect describes the reluctance of the outermost s electrons in heavier p-block elements to participate in bonding. This is due to relativistic effects stabilizing these s orbitals. A key consequence is that heavier elements like lead prefer the +2 oxidation state over +4, a deviation from the expected group valency. We also look at how relativistic effects give gold its unique yellow color and make mercury a liquid at room temperature. Let's connect trends to predicting chemical reactivity. Understanding metallic and non-metallic character and how they trend allows us to predict the acid-base nature of oxides from basic alkali metal oxides to acidic non-metal oxides, with amphoteric ones in between. We also examine periodicity in melting and boiling points, noting how metallic bonding strength and intermolecular forces dictate these properties across periods and down groups, with carbon and silicon standing out for their exceptionally high melting points. Next, we explore the intricate relationship between ionization enthalpy and redox potential. While low IE generally means high reducing power, aqueous solutions introduce other factors like hydration enthalpy. Lithium, despite its very high IE, is an exceptionally strong reducing agent in water due to its immense hydration energy. We also delve into the quantitative analysis of different electronegativity scales Pauling, Mulliken, and Allred-Rochow. Each scale has its unique theoretical basis, from bond energies to a combination of ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy, or electrostatic force, providing different perspectives while maintaining the overall periodic trends. These advanced insights are not just theoretical, they empower you to predict complex chemical behaviors and tackle challenging problems. By understanding the interplay of these factors, you can explain anomalies, anticipate properties of unstudied compounds, and appreciate the underlying quantum mechanical reasons for the periodic trends. This level of understanding is what truly sets apart top performers in competitive exams. Time for the first set of hardest questions. These are designed to challenge your deep understanding. Discuss the inert pair effect and its consequences. How do relativistic effects make gold and mercury unique? Predict oxide basicity for now, AMGO, ALO, CO. Explain melting point trends across period 3 and down group 17. And why is lithium, despite high IE, a strong reducing agent in water? Pause and analyze carefully. Here are the remaining 5 toughest questions. Compare Pauling and Mulliken electronegativity scales. Given IE values, predict element positions. For an element E in group 15, period 3, predict its character, oxide, and hydride. Explain why sulfur's EG is more negative than oxygen's. And finally, account for the near-identical atomic radii of Zr and HF. These questions demand critical thinking and comprehensive application of all concepts learned. You've made it through an intensive session on periodic trends. Remember, consistent practice is key to mastering these concepts for JEE Main and Advanced. For more such comprehensive educational content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more exciting chemistry lessons. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing your limits. See you in the next session.